What is up, guys? Huawei were kind enough to send me, look at it, ready? The Huawei Mate S to review. So let's take a look at it. First things first though, we're going to take a look at the outside. So on the left hand side you will find the SIM slot, so it contains SIM and a micro SD card. And then on the right we have the volume rocker and the power button. Now that's sort of the sides covered. On the back you'll see the camera. It's a 13 megapixel camera which obviously manages 4K video. And it comes in Mystic Champagne, which is this mixture of silver and goldish. The fingerprint scanner, which you can kind of make out, I actually really like. It's really fast and really accurate. But the only issue I found with it is your finger does have to be pretty flat on the scanner. Internally, it's rocking the Krillin 935 processor with 3GB of RAM and 32GB of storage, which is expandable up to 200GB. It has a 1080p AMOLED display, which is actually really beautiful, and it runs Lollipop 5.1.1. It is extremely skinned though with EMUI, and to the extent that they actually took out the Easter egg, which actually saddened me quite a bit. Now, the out-of-pocket experience is actually really nice. The fingerprint scanner is brilliantly positioned for when you pull the phone out of your pocket, and it's the perfect size for me at least. If we continue our analysis, you'll find that there's the 3.5mm headphone jack on the top, as well as the micro USB and two grills at the bottom. The grills, one is for microphone and one is for speakers. Along the top we have the notification LED, a front-facing flash, and an 8 megapixel selfie camera which takes some great pictures. As I said, you have space for 2 nano SIMs, or a nano SIM and a micro SD card, depending on your decided requirements. And the screen does look pretty nice. The entire front of the phone is glass and is beautiful to look at. Unfortunately, the phone isn't without faults though. You can't quite see it when the screen is on. You will find that there is a black piece of glass that kind of makes the phone screen look bigger when the screen is off. Using SwiftKey left the image along the bottom and actually cut off Facebook chat heads along the top when I was using it. It came with a case, which was really nice of them actually. The case was leather, looked beautiful. I really liked it with the case on. I also liked it with the case off, so it really depends. And it's got a really nice viewport which, thanks to the AMOLED display, actually saves battery. Now, this is what it looks like on the back, and it's actually really well held together. I really liked the shape of it, I really liked the look of it, but it being this sort of really light whitish colour actually wore off really quickly. And this is within 3 or 4 days of me having this phone. You can see how internally it's actually blackened. Software-wise, you'll find that it's extremely familiar if you're a user of iOS. It has all of those square icons and no app drawer, so it is very iOS-y, except it has widgets. And the shake to change background image literally took this long. We're still waiting for it. There we go. It takes an age. Folders also look surprisingly like a different operating system you may or may not have heard of before. And even down to the app icons, with things like music looking surprisingly like the Apple Music icon I found, with some people actually wondering if it was. Apps are really bad off with this, especially things like Engadget and Chromecast, as you can see as it fills the background, but if it's a widget it's not as bad, so Nova Launcher kinda got away with it, which was the launcher I did end up using. The fingerprint scanner on the back is really useful for gestures actually. It has a bunch of really random gestures, as well as the ability to collapse the screen by swiping on the control bar at the bottom. When asking my friends about it, many of them actually didn't like this app switcher, but I personally really like it. It gives you a nice glance of a few things of what you're doing with that, and it's very different. You can slide down to lock it and swipe up to dismiss it. If you swipe down and lock something and then dismiss all, the things you locked actually stay. Battery life was really good, just over 4 hours of screen on time on an average day, which for me is actually quite heavy use because I'm usually gaming, and I found that the 2700 mAh battery worked well. As I said, it looks extremely similar to a phone you may have seen before, especially the back and front of it. The sides not as much, the volume are on separate sides, and then obviously they've got the Apple iPhone has the power button separately, but sort of the general design scheme seems to be extremely similar, even down to sort of the way the glass curves. So if you enjoyed that video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, and there's a subscribe button. If you want to watch something else, I have the unboxing of the Huawei Mate S on the left and the Windows Insiders event on the right. And don't forget to click the link in the description if you want to hear my full opinions on this device, including things that I might not have mentioned here and might have forgotten to talk about, or film, or both.